In the Pokemon world, battles are basically a sport. One day you can be a legend on top of your game, winning championships, and the next you could be losing every battle and being called a fraud. Throughout the Pokemon anime's history, there has been several battles that were straight up humiliating. Battles that left the trainers stunned and questioning everything they've done. So let's take a look at some of the lowest points in these trainers' careers. So we have to start at the beginning, the Indigo League. Ash Ketchum was definitely in over his head in this series. He didn't train enough, he didn't get the respect of his Pokemon enough. He was a rookie. He wasn't ready to take the next steps. Most of his badges were earned through acts of bravery or straight up shenanigans. So it did make sense that his most powerful Pokemon, Charizard, didn't respect him. He didn't listen to his commands. All the others listened and had a strong friendship with him, but power comes at a cost and Ash couldn't fulfill the needs of Charizard. He needed a worthy trainer to command him, and it all comes to light at the Indigo League, the biggest stage of Ash's career, going up against close friend Richie, a battle everyone had been looking forward to. This moment is rightfully so clowned on for being a bad battle, but I have to say it was a fantastic piece of storytelling. The battle was a shambles and a humiliation that Ash suffered this defeat on live TV, a stadium full of fans. To have your own Pokemon stop listening to you and lose you the battle, it must have been so hard for Ash to come back from this.
Charizard return!
And this is what makes Ash great. He never gives up and eventually learns from these mistakes and becomes a trainer Charizard can respect. So although a huge humiliation here, in the long run it only made Ash stronger. So in the Sinnoh region, we all know about Ash and Paul's fierce rivalry. It was so interesting because both trainers strived for the same thing, but in such different ways. And my man Paul has some bottle. He will do anything to get stronger. He walks up to the champion of Sinnoh, Cynthia, and challenges her to a 6-on-6 battle out of nowhere. She was just there visiting these ruins and Paul doesn't care. He only looks ahead. He will do anything to get stronger. And by battling the best and gaining that experience, that will definitely help. But at this point, Paul is on Ash's level. He really has no chance. I mean, he's coming at Cynthia with unevolved Pokemon like Chimchar and Murkrow. The battle was humiliating for Paul. They didn't even bother to finish the 6-on-6. Paul could have still used 2 more Pokemon. Cynthia just sweeps every single Pokemon aside with Garchomp, with little to no problems at all. Paul was definitely out of his depth challenging Cynthia like that, but you really do have to respect the hustle of this man, a massive wake up call to him, and even Ash, who is watching, who has lost to Paul at this point. Both of them seeing the power a champion can truly hold. But Paul's humiliations don't stop there, as later on he meets the Pyramid King Brandon of the Battle Frontier. We learn that he witnessed Brandon absolutely destroy his brother Reggie, and Paul always wanted to win this battle that Reggie could never. And when he learns that none other than Ash has already beaten Brandon, it only fuels him to challenge Brandon even more. Again, out of nowhere, mirroring the Cynthia situation, Paul challenges Brandon to a 6-on-6. Brandon sees how determined he is and accepts it. Paul was a bit more prepared for this battle, bringing fully evolved Mons and stronger ones, but I think Paul learns a big lesson from both of these losses. You can't cut corners, you have to do the hard graft. Ash only won against Brandon because he went round, collected all the other symbols and battled Brandon 3 times, used all his knowledge and experience, got back his original team. It took everything Ash had to beat this guy. But you got a feel for Paul. Ash only had to overcome 1 Reggie in his battle, whereas Brandon clearly pressed for time, wanting to get this over with. He brings all 3 Reggies to this battle with Paul. This man had no chance. 3 Reggies against Paul's full team of 6. I don't care who you are, you will struggle with this battle. So although another crushing, humiliating defeat, Brandon was probably trying to teach Paul a lesson here. There is no quick fix to be strong. You have to work and train in ways that maybe you don't want to. I think Paul's whole thing was discarding the weak if they aren't good enough, but this loss could be taken as a lesson for Paul. There's a reason Ash won and Paul lost, and it's down to the never giving up and not taking the easy way out. These 2 losses for Paul show why he's such a well-written character. Despite Ash struggling to overcome him, he's not suited for certain battles, and sometimes his cockiness and bluntness can cost him. Peak Pokemon.
Take a look. Look into his eyes. How can I refuse the battle this young man requests?
So let's move on to some juicy black and white moments. You all know the ones. Ash has just come to Unova after placing in the top 4 in the Sinnoh League. Overcoming Paul, this man is about to hit his prime, right? Well, no. Pikachu gets hit by some lightning by the legendary Zekrom, a pretty unfortunate way to start the region, But I mean, Pikachu isn't exactly new to having electric problems upon entering new regions, just like Hoenn. And then we meet this dude Trip, who is Ash's main rival in Unova. He's like a mix of Barry and Paul. He's pretty annoying, not a great rival in my opinion. We see him starting his journey, picking his brand new starter. And bear in mind, these starters are all specifically bred for a new trainer. We've seen in the anime before that new trainers are supposed to start out with weak Pokemon. Even if you don't want to clarify that they are level 5 and compare them to the games, this is still one very weak Snivy. This ain't no Super Saiyan Snivy. Also, Trip is just kind of a bit of a dick in general. He's constantly ripping into Ash for no reason, cussing out his hometown of Pallet. Like, this guy with no experience comes out of nowhere, just insults Ash. This was such a badly written character. They were just trying to make him edgy and like Paul for no reason, forgetting what actually made Paul a great character. Anyway, so Trip challenges Ash to a battle, and we all know what happens. Pikachu can't use its electric moves, so Trip wins the battle. With a brand new Snivy in its very first battle, taking down Pikachu, who has fought in countless battles. Even without electric moves, Pikachu should have still won this battle. Sure, you can make it struggle, show off Snivy a little bit, give the story purpose, but having Pikachu straight up lose is a very bad writing choice. And it goes down as a humiliating loss for Ash, a trainer who had all these great wins, beaten legendaries, beaten top tier trainers, loses to a rookie fresh out of the daycare. There was no excuse for this one. We're sticking with black and white because there is quite a few losses for Ash that are questionable. But after the first, you can kind of accept the route that they've taken with the whole reset. But even with that, we come to the Unova League. We're all ready, Ash has got all his badges, he's cooked up a pretty decent team. Pignite, Crocodile, some strong members. We meet this dude Virgil with a team of evolutions, very cool, very much looking forward to seeing him and Ash go at it. And one thing Black and White did have is a lot of rivals, so some of them were actually decent, the likes of Bianca and Stefan. The tournaments were also a big positive in the Black and White series. It's just a shame they didn't save all the good stuff for the tournament. The main one everyone looks forward to. Because Ash is drawn against Cameron in the quarterfinals, this guy, he's kind of a strong battler. He mirrors Black and White Ash a little bit. I guess they were trying to give us a bit of a callback to Richie, and boy did they manage that with this humiliation. Cameron has a thing of forgetting everything. He forgot where the league was being held, he forgot how many badges he needed, and most importantly, he forgot to bring a 6th Pokemon to a 6-on-6 battle. He thought it was only a 5-on-5. So Ash has a huge advantage here. He has 6 Pokemon going up against Cameron's 5. I guess it's just a shame that Ash brought Unpheasant, otherwise it would have actually been a 6v5. Also, how was Crocodile not even used in this battle? But yeah, Ash obviously loses this battle. He's knocked out of the Unova League to Cameron. This was a humiliation. You have to beat this guy. I mean, yeah, he's going in with a Hydreigon, and then he gets a bit of luck with Lucario evolving and becoming a beast. But my man Ash brought Unpheasant and Oshawott. He's basically 2 down already. Poor choices by Ash and not enough urgency or conviction to win this battle. I'd say out of all of Ash's battles, this one is the most unforgivable on Ash's part. The Indigo League, he was inexperienced and it was great writing. The loss to Trip was literally all bad writing and he suffered the loss of electricity. But this one was just straight up Ash not bringing his best Pokemon and not taking his chance. It was really bad writing, don't get me wrong, but Ash should have never lost this battle. He should have made it through to the semis to face Virgil, a battle that we never got. What was even the point of Virgil? Thankfully after this we didn't see any more big humiliations, but this video proves that a crushing defeat can be done right. It can be well written, like with Paul and with Ash at the Indigo League, but then there's times where if you don't have the logic to back these situations up, it leads to a messy battle and a humiliated trainer.